we got to really give credit to this Seattle Seahawks front office as well, because they had one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL. They fixed it in 2 seconds. And Sam Darnold was so much better than Drake May in this game. And it's not going to show up in the box score, but anybody that watched the Super Bowl understands that Drake May took way more negative plays than Sam Darnold was. And the Patriots defense was getting pressure. It's just Sam Darnold was way better moving in the pocket, creating with his legs, had a couple of clutch scrambles, got the ball out way faster than Drake May did, was way more accurate with the football when he got it out of his hands, trusted the run game, trusted his guys in open space, made some throws at timely, and made some big time throws like the touchdown to Barner. He was nasty in this game, but it wasn't a we need you to carry, Sam, which is don't turn the ball over and the defense has got us. And that was the case here. His pocket presence was incredible. There was a few times where he could have forced a screen pass. He fucking threw it into the dirt. There were a couple of times where he could have tried and hold on to the ball too long, especially in the first half, and he just didn't take a sack, threw the ball away. Like, he was so good in this. I thought Sam Darnold was really good in this game. It wasn't an MVP level thing, but it was an elite display of what being a good game manager can do. That's win a fucking Super Bowl. Let me take a sip here. Sam Darnold was a great game manager. Sam Darnold was a great game manager, and the term game manager gets thrown around like it's a bad thing. And that I never understood that, because it's hard to be an elite game manager. It's hard to manage an NFL game. And over the past 2 seasons, I'd argue that the quarterbacks of the teams that won the Super Bowl were really, really good game managers. I thought Sam Darnold managed every single game the Seahawks played in the playoffs extremely well. He didn't need to do too much against the Niners. He didn't need to do too much against the Patriots. He needed to ball out against the Rams, and he did just that. He managed the game well. He did what the game called for him to do. Jalen Hurts last year didn't need to do a whole lot against the Packers, didn't need to do a whole lot against the Commanders, even though he still had a few touchdowns and 300 yards. He didn't need to do a whole lot against the Chiefs, because Mahomes didn't cross half field until the second half. So, but he did what he needed to do, and he executed at an extremely high level when the defense gave him opportunities to do so, opportunities to capitalize. That's what Sam did. That's what Jalen Hurts did. That's why if you have a quarterback that can manage a game at an elite level, you pay them. You pay them. Because it's hard to find guys that can manage the game at an elite level. And what these last 2 Super Bowls showed us as NFL fans more than anything is that you don't need an elite quarterback to win a Super Bowl. You don't need an MVP caliber quarterback to win a Super Bowl. You can do just fine with a quarterback that takes care of the football when it matters, is clutch when it matters, and just manages the game. Because Jalen Hurts isn't elite. Sam Darnold isn't elite. They're good. They're very good. They flash elite upside at times. They have elite moments, but they're not consistently elite the way a Burrow, the way a Mahomes, and a Lamar Jackson, a Josh Allen was. But you don't need an elite quarterback if you can build correctly around them, build within their skill set, build upon their strengths, and then you can have a Super Bowl level team. And that's what we learned here today. It obviously helps. But think about it, over the last 2 decades, who were the teams that were constantly competing? Teams with Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, Peyton Manning, Josh Allen. The teams with the elite quarterbacks were constantly competing. But now we're seeing you don't need an elite quarterback to constantly be competing. Like, the Niners are in the mix of it every year. They've never had an elite quarterback. The Eagles are in the mix of things every year. They don't have an elite quarterback. The Seahawks this year. The Seahawks last year, even towards the back half of the year, with Geno Smith, were pretty good. Sam Darnold elevated. You don't need an elite quarterback to win Super Bowls in the NFL anymore. And the last 2 Super Bowl champions are so indicative of that. Like, over the past decade and a half, at least in my lifetime, in order to compete on a perennial basis, you needed a Rodgers, a Mahomes, a Brady, a Allen, a Manning. But now we're seeing teams like the San Francisco 49ers, perennial contender with a Brock Purdy or a Jimmy Garoppolo. The Eagles with a Jalen Hurts, perennial contender. I don't think Jalen Hurts is an elite quarterback. The Seahawks just won a ring. Sam Darnold's not an elite quarterback. Like, you're getting these teams. Like the Lions. I mean, the Lions, they missed the playoffs this year, but perennial contender-ish with not an elite quarterback. You don't need an elite quarterback to have consistent success in the NFL anymore. And I think that's a great place for the NFL to be, honestly. And I love watching elite QB play, but I also love teams that can build in smart ways. The way that the Seahawks did. I mean, when have we seen a team build a team? Like, they didn't draft Sam Darnold. Like, when's the last team that won a Super Bowl without drafting the quarterback that won the Super Bowl for them? Like, I guess the Bucks, but it's Brady. And I guess that's a similar model when you think about it. Like, it's a similar model the Seahawks followed that the Bucks followed. Build up a really good roster, sign your quarterback in free agency. Now, I'm not saying that Tom Brady and Sam Darnold are similar players by any means, but it is a similar model when you break it down at the core for like what it was. And that's another way teams don't really think about going about building their roster. They think, let's get the quarterback on a rookie deal, and then let's stack the roster while he's on a rookie deal, and then hopefully win in that window. But you can build your roster without having the quarterback and then sign him in free agency if he's good enough. If you also have to get a little bit lucky with the timing. Like, the Bucks got lucky, Brady went to free agency. The Seahawks got lucky that Sam Darnold came to free agency. So there's a little bit of a luck involved, but drafting a quarterback isn't the only way to build an elite roster or to build a Super Bowl level roster. And we've seen that over the last 2 years. Like, before Brady, who was the last quarterback to win a Super Bowl without being drafted to that team? And I'm talking about Brady on the Bucks. Because before Brady on the Bucks, it was the Chiefs won the year before that. Before that was the Patriots against the Rams. Before that was the Eagles against the Patriots. I guess Nick Foles would be your answer. Okay. So I guess I'm disproving my point here a little bit. Oh, no, but no. Dude, didn't the Eagles draft Nick Foles? Or did he get drafted to LA? I'm pretty sure the Eagles drafted. Let me fact check here. Nick Foles. Who drafted Nick Foles? Who drafted Nick Foles? Bad podcasting here. I apologize. The Eagles did draft Nick Foles. So we move here. Who was it in before that? It was Falcons against the Eagles. Or Falcons. So Brady of the Falcons, right? Before that was Manning. So Manning. So yeah, unless you don't need to draft an elite quarterback to win a ring, the Seahawks proved that this year. Boys, thank you for listening. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button. W Super Bowl, man. It really was.